Part 16. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 151. Chapter 150 12 Avenues. In addition to the talismans corresponding to the great avenues, Su Junming's formation cultivation has also been greatly improved. The strongest formation is no longer the 4 elephants demon-slaying formation and the innate Bagua formation, but the Shenangjia Himing Valley Cave Guarding Formation Aoki Huishan Formation. Su Junming has realized the formation of the peak formation of this big cave, the 7th level of formation prohibition, the late stage of Dongxian. Slightly weaker than the King Mu Huishan formation is the 4 elephants demon-slaying formation, which has reached the 5th level of formation prohibition and is in the early stage of Dongxian. The Xiantian Bagua formation follows closely behind, with 4 formation prohibitions, and is the pinnacle of Dongzhen. The other 2 rituals, 3 talents, 5 elements, Liu He, 7 stars, 9 palaces, heavenly stems, earthly branches, and various types of formations are all there. This is what he realized when he studied the formations books in the Tibetan scripture pavilion, because he only dabbled in them and his level was not high. Looking inside his danshan, Su Junming had a hint of hesitation on his face. In the past year, he studied various classics in the Sutra Pavilion. In addition to the rapid progress of various magic talismans, he also realized that there is a limit to using bronze mirrors to comprehend magic talismans. Once there are more than 12 types, the efficiency will be reduced. Dramatically drop. Therefore, it is best to practice the 12 types at the same time. If there are too many, you will lose sight of one and miss the other, and it will be difficult to do your best. Now he plans to practice the Tao of formation, the Tao of refining weapons, the Tao of space, the Tao of yin and yang, the Tao of thunder, the Tao of divine strike, the Tao of fire, the Tao of souls, the Tao of sealing, and the Tao of swords. As for the remaining 2 paths, the Earth Emperor Dao can be compared with yin-yang and space. Needless to say, the potential can be added. The last one is tentatively decided as Aoki Tao. If there is a Tao with stronger potential in the future, it will not be too late to replace it. The rest of the teachings are left to chance. As for the natal magic weapon corresponding to each path, the array has been refined over the past year. When it comes to refining weapons, I don't have much of an idea at the moment. The Tao of Yin and Yang is the great grinding of Yin and Yang. Thunder Road, Thunder God Drum. The Way of Gods Fighting, the Statue of Emperor Guan. The Way of Flame, the Purple Sun Lamp. He has already refined the natal magic weapon of the Soul Dao, which is called Yimen Huang Liang. It is made from 365 grains of Dongzhen medium-grade yellow liang rice produced by Mission Nanzang. As for the way of sealing, he has not yet decided what to practice. The key is the lack of materials. The way of the sword is to kill demons with swords and talismans, but it is really difficult to practice a flying sword. Especially the 900 refined gold, which is the highest quality of the Dongzhen, requires hundreds of tons of gold to be successfully refined. Su Junming plans to go to South Africa to have a look in the future when he achieves the realm of seeing the reality, that is, the Queen of Golden Elixir. If this world was similar to his previous life, more than half of the world's gold reserves were hidden there. At that time, not to mention spending hundreds of tons of gold to refine 900 refined gold, even spending thousands of tons of gold to sacrifice thousands of refined gold of Dongxian level will be enough. The Way of the Earth, also known as the Earth Emperor's Way, has just been incorporated into the subsequent training plan, and the natal magic weapon can only be discussed in the future. The Way of Greenwood, he also keeps a top-quality greenwood staff in the cave of Himing Valley in Shenangjia, which is enough for practicing the natal magic weapon. Su Junming spent half a month sorting out his own spiritual path, passing on his new understanding of the way of God to Taoist Master 4 Eyes, and then left. Although Simu is good here, it is too comfortable. Having stayed at Mission Nanzang for a year, and after digesting his gains, Su Junming can't wait to start his next round of travel. Peach Blossom Mountain Charity Village. Su Junming meets Uncle Li. Looking at the tall young Taoist in front of him, Li Sifang felt quite emotional. 2 years ago, when he first met Su Junming, he was just an innate young man. Now, he is already a well-known cultivation genius in the cultivation world, the golden elixir seed. Is your master okay? Thank you, Uncle Li, for your concern. My tutor is very good. That's good. Your master is lucky to have a disciple like you to pass on the Taoism in his life. Uncle Master, you are overly praised. Li Sifang smiled and nodded. Are you here to drive away corpses? Exactly. Come with me. Coming to the morgue in the backyard, Su Junming, who had been here once before, was no stranger to this place. Looking at the coffins neatly arranged and with corpse-preserving charms attached. Uncle Li, are these all? All of them. So much. Su Junming frowned. There were almost no less than 200 coffins here. Your master hasn't been here for half a year. Now we are living in troubled times and the people are in dire straits. Only we cultivators can pick up the bones of these poor and lonely souls and return them to their hometowns. Thinking of the records in the history books of his previous life about China's hundreds of years of humiliation and the displacement of its people, Su Junming couldn't help but feel sad even though he had become a monk and practiced Taoism. He does not have the ability to revolutionize the country and rebuild the world. All he can do is to kill demons and eliminate demons so that ordinary people will no longer be disturbed by ghosts and evil spirits after experiencing the hardships of life. Thinking of this, Su Junming felt more upright and less selfish. Don't worry, uncle, I will send them all back to their hometown for burial. Li Sifang nodded and pondered for a moment. Junming, uncle, I have something to ask of you. Uncle Master, please make it clear that as long as the disciples can do it, they will do their best. Come and see. After Li Sifang nodded, he took him to the innermost coffin. Compared with the coffin next to it that was just covered with corpse-suppressing charms, this sarcophagus had a statue of Zhong Kui enshrined on the top of the head, the four corners were suppressed by four spirits, and the entire coffin was wrapped in a red French net soaked in black dog's blood. The triple suppression shows that Li Sifang attaches great importance to it. Uncle Master, are there zombies inside? Li Sifang nodded. There is a black zombie at the peak of his innate nature inside. Su Junming frowned slightly. Why doesn't Master destroy such an evil creature? I do think it's a pity that this black zombie belongs to an owner. After a pause, have you ever heard of Master Su's exorcism from the Wu family? But the Wu family in western Hunan. Exactly. No wonder. There are many inheritances of corpse exorcists in the spiritual world, but the ones who are truly famous in the spiritual world are the Wu family in western Hunan and the Sun family in northern Shaanxi. Unlike Mission who chases corpses just to accumulate merit, these two families truly use zombies to become enlightened. It is rumored that every disciple of the Wu family who advances to the innate level will receive a zombie from the family's ancestral land and practice it as a natal corpse. The Wu family is closely related to their natal corpse. They both prosper and suffer. Because zombies are rare and rare, every member of the Wu family will return their corpse to the family's ancestral land so that it can be passed on to the next generation. The owner of this natal corpse is Wu Lide, the second roommate of the Wu family. Li Sifang waved his hand, and the sarcophagus next to the black coffin opened, revealing a body wearing a green robe, with a thin body and sunken cheeks. The Taoist robe was very new, apparently Li Sifang put it on after his death. There was a dent in the chest, faintly stained with blood, which must have been a fatal injury. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 152. Chapter 151, Meteoric Ball. I have known him for many years and we have a deep friendship. Last month, he lost a battle with 9 lives true Lord Luoxiu and was seriously injured. He fled to me to die. Before he left, he asked me to return this black zombie to the Wu family. I am not good at exorcising corpses. I originally planned to entrust this matter to your master. Now that you are here, my uncle wants to entrust this matter to you. Li Sifang took out a jade box from the bag of magic. The sealing talisman was removed and opened, and a 7-inch long nail appeared inside. This black evil nail is a high-grade magic weapon from the 8 treasures forbidden. It was originally given to me by Wu Lide as a reward. Now my uncle gives it to you as a reward for your hard work this time. When he first entered Taoism 2 years ago, Su Junming's high-grade magic tools from the 8 treasure bands were indeed very attractive, but now he has enough magic tools in his hand, and he cannot use any more, and he still needs to occupy an extra one. Energy. This black evil nail is Wu Lide's reward for my uncle, so I don't dare to take it. After a pause, he said, I often heard my master say that my uncle's skills in practicing talisman paper are superb. If it is convenient, can you give some to my nephew? Hearing this, Li Sifang's face became touched. Master-nephew Su has profound virtues and strong friendship, which is admirable. Su Junming smiled modestly. Uncle Master is overly praised. I still need to learn more from Uncle Master. He did not take the black evil nail. Although he was grateful for Li Sifang's kindness in giving him the Guandi statue in the first place, the more important reason was that he really had no use for it. Even if he gets it, he still has to exchange it for resources. He might as well buy talisman paper, which is exactly what he needs now. Taking back the black evil nail, Li Sifang took out a paper roll as thick as his finger and as long as a ruler from his bag. This peach blossom paper is the essence of peach blossoms that I collected and refined with 16 kinds of spiritual herbs such as Yunyang grass and Tianxing grass. It is a medium-grade spiritual material from Dongzhen, enough for you to practice 18 spiritual talismans. Su Junming was not polite and took it and put it into the bag. Thank you, uncle. Uncle Master should be the one to thank you. In his opinion, a high-grade magic weapon with 8 treasures is much better than a medium-grade peach blossom talisman paper from Dongzhen. This is normal. Casual cultivators are always short of resources, especially magical weapons. Su Junming smiled slightly. Uncle, you're welcome. It's just that my disciple is unclear about something. Why is Wu Lide's soul not in the body? Alas! He was hit by the 9 lives true monarch's 3 evil mysterious yin thorns, and after he finished explaining his funeral affairs, he was already in a state of despair. 9 lives true Lord Luoxiu, I have also heard of it. Rumor has it that he is a demon cultivator at the peak of his innate nature. His whereabouts are mysterious. The most famous magical weapon in his hand is a Swanyan soul-gathering flag. I have never heard that he is still alive. Is there a 3 evil mysterious yin thorn? Moreover, Wu Lide has a peak innate body, and he himself is also a master at the peak innate level. How could he die so miserably? Li Sifang shook his head. Brother Lide fled to me. After explaining his funeral affairs, his soul disappeared. I didn't have time to ask the whole story. Su Junming nodded. Although he was curious, he was just curious. Disciple still wants to drive away corpses. Please ask uncle to collect these corpse-suppressing talismans. Li Sifang nodded and waved, and the corpse-suppressing charms on the coffin flew up one after another and fell into the charm bag on his waist. Su Junming stamped his foot, and all the coffin lids popped open instantly, and then fell lightly to the side. An unpleasant smell of corpses soon filled the morgue, and the yin and corpse aura became a bit stronger. If you have a keen eye, you can also see an illusory figure standing next to these coffins. These people were old and young, male and female, staring directly at Su Junming and Li Sifang with lifeless eyes. Being watched by so many ghosts, those with poor psychological quality would probably be scared to death. Su Junming just glanced at the ghosts that ordinary people were afraid of, but in his eyes they were as ordinary as flies and mosquitoes. Tan Chao took out a wooden box from the magic bag. When he opened it, there was a stone ball the size of an adult's fist inside. If you are careful, you can also find that the surface of this stone ball is densely covered with countless small holes the size of sewing needles. Take out the stone ball and hold it in your palm. This low-grade magic weapon, which he named Meteor Spirit Ball, was made from Dongjin's low-grade treasure material basalt Linjian. There were only 3 treasure taboos in it. The meteor ball has only 3 functions, one is to gather yin, one is to seal, and the remaining one is to hide the corpse. Su Junming drew in the air, and a complex talisman appeared in mid-air. Li Sifang looked at it for a while, but had no clue. Holding up the meteor ball with his left hand, he made a move with his right hand, and the corpse in the coffin flew out instantly. The talisman in front of Su Junming flashed, and the corpse disappeared instantly, turning into a spiritual light thinner than a steel needle and sinking into the hole of the meteor ball. This was just the beginning. The nearly 200 corpses behind them, along with their souls, also turned into auras and disappeared into the meteorite orb. Li Sifang was shocked when he saw the scene in his eyes. "Uncle Li, please remove the seal from this zombie." Li Sifang, who woke up with a start, asked subconsciously. "Master Nephew, what kind of magic did you do just now? Why have those corpses become so small?" There is a wish-fulfilling talisman in the 36 true traditions of mission. Has your uncle ever heard of it? Wishful talisman? That's it? Li Sifang suddenly realized that he had a close connection with his 4 eyes. He had naturally heard of the names of mission's 7 roots of Taoism and the 36 true traditions. Master Nephew Su's talent is indeed extraordinary. I heard your master say that among the 36 true traditions of mission, among the most difficult ones to comprehend, there is the wishful talisman. Su Junming smiled and said nothing more. The Ruyi talisman is just something he uses to deal with others. What he just used was the space compression technique he learned from the Huishan talisman. After spending a year to advance the Huishan talisman to the blue basic talisman stage, he was able to compress Dongjin's top quality treasures. And you can make things smaller. Mortal corpses were not even treasures, so it was easier for Su Junming to compress them. However, there are 3,000 holes in his meteorite ball, and it is enough to press it like this. After sighing, Li Sifang calmed down a little and looked at the sarcophagus that was sealed tightly at the end. Li Sifang walked over and bowed 3 times before putting away the statue of Zhongkui. He fired a series of spiritual senses, solved the 4-image array, and finally removed the blood net. In an instant, a strong corpse aura came out through the coffin. Li Sifang waved his sleeves, mana surged, and the coffin lid opened, adding another third of power to the already rich corpse energy. The morgue was already filled with corpse aura, resentment, and gloomy aura, but now it was even more alarming. Fortunately, Su Junming has collected all the corpses and souls into the meteorite ball, otherwise, if they stay in this environment for a long time, they will produce evil ghosts. Master Nephew Su, this is the black zombie. Su Junming took 2 steps forward. Lying in the heavy sarcophagus was a zombie about 6 feet tall, wearing a helmet and armor. Only his hands and face were exposed, and he was covered in black hair. This zombie doesn't have sharp nails, and it doesn't wear official Qing dynasty uniforms. It looks nothing like the zombies in Uncle Nine's movies. But this is the real Chinese zombie. Although it also sucks blood, it mostly absorbs yin energy. It looked like there were many scratches on the armor on the zombie's body, especially on the chest, which had a big hole. The tough black hair on the body's surface also fell off, revealing the white wax-like muscles inside. Fortunately, it didn't break the heart, otherwise this would have happened. Zombies are completely useless. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 153. Chapter 152, True Lord of Nine Lives. What a brutal battle. A piece of Dongzhen medium-grade protective armor is completely useless. Su Junming frowned slightly. That's not all. Lide's black body also has a set of genuine middle-grade swords and shields, but they were not seen when they arrived. They were obviously damaged and then lost, Li Sifang said. So this Nine Lives True Lord is really powerful. Li Sifang nodded in agreement. Master Nephew Su, although Hezong is heavily damaged and has 7 major acupoints such as Beihui and Shenting sealed, he is still a peak innate being. You must be more careful when you take him on the road. Uncle, don't worry, my nephew is awake. I drew a Hushan magic talisman, but this black zombie is the peak of innateness. Although it can be compressed, it can only be compressed into the size of an apple and cannot be put into the meteorite ball. But Su Junming has other magic bags, so just put them in. Pack everything up. Uncle Li, where is the Wu family in western Hunan? In Wuling Mountain, Luju County, Hezhu. Li Sifang took out a black jade talisman and handed it over. This is what Wu Lide gave me. After you enter Luju County, this jade talisman will generate its own induction and guide you to. Li Sifang suddenly stopped speaking and frowned. Uncle Li, what's wrong? Someone touched Yizhuang's formation. Just as Su Junming was about to continue asking, he heard a roar from outside, and the surrounding spiritual energy vibrated. Not good. Li Sifang's expression changed and he ducked out of the morgue. Su Junming followed closely behind. When I came to the front yard, I saw a transparent light shield in mid-air that flickered on and off. What kind of monster dares to come here to harass you? Li Sifang fired a flash of light from his fingertips, and under the influence of his magic power, the formation's aura instantly became more powerful. Stinky Taoist, hand over Wu Lide, otherwise I will break your formation first and then kill you all. A gloomy voice came from outside the door. Be bold. Li Sifang became angry and activated his magic power. 2 golden tigers about 10 feet in size flew out from the backyard and pounced menacingly into the darkness outside the courtyard gate. It's just an illusion, but you dare to show off in front of me. 2 rays of faint purple light flashed through, and the 2 golden tigers were instantly destroyed. Li Sifang was shocked. His 2 golden tigers are mid-level treasures of Dongzhen, and with the help of formations, they will not fall behind even against late-stage Xiantian. The faint purple brilliance flashed again, and the large formation protecting Yizhuang began to churn violently. There was a burst of cracking sound like a barrage of cannons, and the translucent shield formed by the formation disappeared instantly. Master Nephew Su, this time Uncle Master has hurt you. It's just that I met you at the right time, Uncle, don't worry. After a pause, he looked at the courtyard door, and I also really want to see what the Nine Lives True Lord Luo Xiu is. Junior is brave. A faint purple brilliance shot Su Junming from outside the courtyard gate. Before the light arrived, a cold resentment had already arrived in front of him. A cluster of fire light flew out from Su Junming's waist, and when it met the purple light, it exploded instantly like exploding fireworks. A bronze lotus lamp slowly flew out of the Dharma bag on Su Junming's waist and floated 3 inches above his left shoulder. The light was like a beam. Although it was not big, it illuminated the surrounding area for 3 feet. No wonder you are so bold, it turns out you are relying on a high-quality magic weapon. While he was talking, a short and thin middle-aged man with a round face, round eyes, thin lips, and sinister eyes opened the courtyard door and walked in. A mirror image flashed in Su Junming's eyes, and the middle-aged man's figure disappeared. His head was purple and black, his body was nearly 1 foot long, and he was half a man tall. 2 big cats with long tails appeared in front of him. Demon cultivators generally survive the catastrophe and condense the demon elixir before they can truly transform into human form, Otherwise, they can only use demon energy to transform. Although this 9 lives true lord has already reached the peak of his innate cultivation, he is still far away from condensing the demon elixir, so naturally he comes in demon form. What a handsome big cat, I see that you are quite good at cultivation. Why don't you come sit down and give me a kick, Su Junming said with a smile. You wanna die? The 9 lives true monarch was furious. This bastard actually wants to be his mount. It's simply tolerable, but a cat can't. A large purple-black flag emerged from behind the big cat. The flag was fierce, and a nearly 2-foot-long purple light shot out. Master Nephew Su, don't be careless. Li Sifang shouted, waving his hand and throwing out 2 brilliant wooden sculptures. As soon as the wooden sculptures landed on the ground, they turned into 2 heavenly generals nearly 10 feet tall, holding whips and axes, wearing helmets and armor. The 2 generals roared angrily, brandished their steel whips and giant axes, and struck the 9 lives true monarch head and face. The powerful and heavy whip axe pierced the air, its whine sound was like thunder, and the sound was astonishing. However, the 9 lives true lord looked at it with disdain on his fat face. With a wave of his left hand, a yellow and white bone spur, 1 foot and 3 inches long, flew out from the back of his head. It shot towards the 2 heavenly generals as fast as lightning. No, master, hurry up and stop the magic. Li Sifang also saw something bad. This yellow and white bone spur was already a top-grade magic weapon, and it was very sharp. His 2 guardian generals were only top-grade magic weapons. Once they encountered it, they would suffer big losses. But he had put away his weapon of victory and wanted to take it back. It would not be that easy for a while. Stop it! Li Sifang lamented inwardly. Lord Chicken and Tile Dog, 9 lives true monarch cat's face was full of pride. Ding! It's like a needle falling on a rock, with a bit of crispness. A millstone with a white upper part and a mysterious lower part was filled with brilliant light. It came first and knocked away the bone spurs. The pride on the face of the 9 lives true monarch instantly solidified, and there was a hint of solemnity in his eyes. The best magic weapon. If coupled with the oil lamp that blocks his Swanyan soul gathering flag, this person has a top-grade magic weapon at such a young age, a top-grade magic weapon in his hand, which is almost as good as his own. Who are you? Su Junming smiled lightly. Let's go to Mission Nanzong's true disciple Su Junming. Are you Su Junming, the Swanyan tyrant sword? The corners of Su Junming's mouth twitched, and countless black lines dropped from Su Junming's forehead. Which bastard gave me this damn third-rate title? He took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. I am Su Junming, not some Swanyan tyrant sword. Seeing that he didn't like it, the 9 lives true lord immediately smiled and said, I think the name Swanyan Ba Deo is quite majestic, and it suits you just right. Pandeo also thinks you are more suitable to be Pandeo's mount. You wanna die? The 9 lives true monarch was furious, and with a burst of magic power, the Swanyan soul gathering flag blocked by the Xiang lantern began to vibrate again. The 3 evil Swanyan thorns also shot out. Deazu, come on, Pandeo really likes your footwork. Su Junming sighed, and the fingertips in his hand changed, and the originally stationary millstone of the yin and yang great mill began to rotate with a rumble. The spiritual light was mighty, and the majestic power of swallowing instantly enveloped the Swanyan soul gathering flag and the 3 evil Swanyan thorns. The face of the 9 lives true monarch changed greatly. A strong pulling force came along the 2 magic weapons. Not good. He used his magic power fiercely to take back the 2 magic weapons. But the Swanyan soul gathering banner and the 3 evil Swanyan thorns were like mud oxen trapped in a net, unable to escape no matter what. The black and white spiritual light spread in circles and soon enveloped the 9 lives true monarch. For a moment, he felt that his magic power became sluggish. At the same time, a strong suction force pulled him towards the millstone. The original anger had long since turned into fear. The four claws exerted force, and with a crash sound, the claws sank into the soil, but the yin-yang great mill contained a wisp of innate yin-yang qi. After Su Junming's painstaking training for more than a year, this treasure has become a semi-spiritual weapon. It was so easy to break free. Boom! The big mill turned faster and faster, and there was a thunderous noise behind it. Li Sifang watched in shock. The 9 lives true monarch, who almost forced him to lose, along with a top-grade magic weapon and a high-grade magic weapon, were pulled up little by the yin and yang millstone, gradually compressed, and finally disappeared into black and white. In a hole the size of a teacup in the millstone. Su Junming waved his hand, and the yin and yang millstone shrank to 3 inches in size with a cluster of black and white spiritual light, and slowly fell into his palm. After a brief look, he temporarily put it into the magic bag. Take back the Xiang lantern. Master Uncle Li, I have captured the 9 lives true monarch. I believe that no other evildoers will come to trouble Uncle Master. Junming, Uncle, thank you very much this time. If you hadn't taken action, Uncle would definitely not have been able to escape the disaster this time. Li Sifang was grateful, but also felt a little complicated. The once Mao Trail, now Daifijinjing has far surpassed itself. In vain, he was worried that Su Junming would be in danger if he took a peek and ate black zombie on the road. Now it seems that he has to pray that the black zombie will not become a monster, otherwise he will be suppressed by his nephew. Uncle, you're welcome, Su Junming cupped his hand. Now that Uncle's disaster has been eliminated, I have to send those corpses back to my hometown for burial, so there won't be any further delay. I will say goodbye and leave now. I hope that Uncle will take care of himself and wait until later. I'll come visit you again when my nephew comes back. Master nephew, it's getting late now, why don't you rest here one night and start your journey tomorrow? Haha, thank you Uncle for your consideration. However, when the moon is dark and the wind is high, those demons and ghosts will come out to cause mischief. My nephew wants to run into them and get rid of them conveniently, so as to accumulate some merits. Uncle, I say goodbye. I will visit you again someday. There was a lingering sound, and the person quickly disappeared into the darkness. Looking in the direction of the courtyard gate, Li Sifang said with emotion, Simu really has accepted an incredible apprentice. Alas, why don't I have such good luck? God is unfair. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 154. Chapter 153 Young-toothed Black Cat. Let me go, you stinking Taoist priest. A little black cat 1 foot long with 2 tails was struggling in Su Junming's arms. But no matter what, he couldn't get rid of the big hands on his head. It's shiny and smooth, and the feel of it is even better than that of the British short-hair horse I raised in my previous life. It feels good to play with the cat for a while, and it will feel good all the time. You will never bully me when you play with a cat? Come on, please turn me over, master. Don't even think about it, Black Cat roared. Yeah. A blue talisman appeared on Su Junming's left shoulder. With a flash of light, the anger and unwillingness in the black cat's eyes disappeared instantly. Meow. There is peace in the blue cat eyes. That's right. Come on, turn over. The black cat subconsciously turned over to expose its belly, curled up its limbs, and had a hint of cuteness on its face. However, as the effect of the purifying talisman slowly wore off, the black cat began to struggle again. Ouch, I'll bite you to death, you stinky Taoist priest. The pure heart talisman flashes again. Meow. Black cat calmed down again. I originally thought you were a male, but after masturbating, I found out that you are a female. In this case, it seems inappropriate to be a mount. However, it is very pleasant to masturbate. Just give it to me as a pet. Touching the 2 tails of the black cat, Su Junming showed a trace of thought on his face. Ordinary cat demons don't grow two tails. This guy should have some extraordinary blood. However, there are no records of ancient feline monsters with multiple tails in the Mission Sutra Pavilion's supplements to the Book of Mountains and Seas, Ancient List of Monsters and many other classics. The bronze mirror light flashed in his eyes, and the fur, muscles, veins, and bones of the black cat's body were reflected in his eyes. This guy's danchan is so strange. Black cat's danchan is 11.5 acres, which is close to innate perfection. But what surprised Su Junming was that there were two meridians that were much wider than ordinary meridians, connecting the two tails. Each of the two tails has a space close to 6 acres, similar to the danchan. In the left tail danchan, there was a 7-foot-sized cyan talisman, from which Su Junming felt the Taoist charm of the sunfen. In the right tail danchan, there is an 8-foot-sized black talisman, but it exudes the Taoist charm of Xian Yin. But what surprised Su Junming even more was that in the center of the Black Cat Master's danchan, there was a dark blue talisman shaped like a roulette wheel, which contained the flavor of reincarnation. It is rumored that cats, especially black cats, can penetrate directly into the underworld with their eyes. Now it seems that is indeed the case. It's just that the magic power is a bit mixed. It seems that he is also a casual cultivator. Take out Black Cat Swanyan Soul Gathering Banner and Sancha Swanyan Thorn. The former is a top-grade magical weapon refined from earthly evil silk. It contains 9 forbidden laws. Since it is called the Swanyan Soul Gathering Flag, there are naturally indispensable souls in it. A total of 49 fierce souls are entrenched in it, with ghosts chirping and a gloomy mist. Su Junming frowned. He didn't like this kind of ghost magic weapon that could be used quickly. Not only because it goes against the Taoism he practices, but more importantly, it is easy to become possessed after using it for a long time. With a movement in his heart, the yin and yang mill flew out from the danchan, and under the influence of his magic power, the millstone began to rotate slowly. Su Junming threw the Swanyan Soul Gathering flag into it, and with a bang, the restrictions on the flag began to break, and 49 evil souls flew out with a roar. Just as he wanted to escape, he was sucked into the yin and yang great grind. Live and fall into the yin and yang fisheye the size of a teacup. Meow, my magic weapon. The black cat, who had just gotten rid of the purifying talisman, saw his beloved talisman being smashed into pieces and screamed in agony. Meow, my magic weapon. There was a cry in his voice when he spoke. Rumble. The millstone is constantly rotating. The Swanyan Soul Gathering flag was swallowed whole. You stinking Taoist priest, destroy my magical weapon, and I will be incompatible with you. The black cat bared its teeth and claws, its eyes angry. But it couldn't break free from Su Junming's hand. Of course, the more important thing was the golden lock of subduing demons around its neck. If it weren't for the fact that you don't have any resentment on your body and only have this ghostly Swanyan Soul Gathering flag, I would destroy you. Then just kill me, Black Cat said angrily. You think I don't dare? Looking at the eyes that were like a deep pool with bottomless depth, Black Cat trembled in her heart. Now that she was a cat under the eaves, she had to bow her head. She really made this guy unhappy, and she had no good consequences. With a cold snort, Black Cat turned his head and stopped looking at him. Seeing that she had given in, Su Junming stopped caring and controlled the yin-yang grinding mill to destroy the Swanyan Soul Gathering flag. Not long after, 49 figures with light black aura flew out of the big mill. The evil spirit of the innocent souls in them has been ground into pure yin energy by the millstone. However, looking at the red lines between these people's eyebrows, it is obvious that they are all murderous guys. When they come to the underworld, they will inevitably go to the 18th level of hell. But Su Junming can't care about these things. As long as he sends these souls to the underworld, it will be a meritorious deed. He stretched out his hand and collected these souls into a copper bowl filled with yellow rice and put them into the magic bag. When preparing to perform rituals later and bury the souls of the dead, they will be sent to the underworld together. The black evil silk used to make the Swanyan soul-gathering flag is made from the energy of Swanyan mixed with the violent energy of resentful ghosts. It is an excellent material for practicing ghost magic weapons. Now it has also been wiped away into yin qi, becoming the material for future advancement in the yin and yang great mill. Thanks to the innate yin and yang energy inside, otherwise he wouldn't be able to do this. The corners of Black Cat's mouth twitched, feeling terribly distressed. That was a high-grade magic weapon that she had finally obtained, and now it was completely gone. Seeing the big demon king pick up the three evil mysterious yin thorns again, Black Cat became anxious. This was his lifeblood. "Ah, this is mine, you can't take it away." The four cat claws hugged the bone spur tightly, and looked at Su Junming with a rare hint of pleading in his eyes. "It's okay if I don't take it away. Are you going to run away?" "Meow, no, I can't do it." The fat cat face shook into a rattle. The ritual training techniques of the three evil mysterious yin thorns are extremely crude, but the bone spur used as the main material is a low-grade Dongxian treasure material. "Where did you get it?" Looking at the big demon king warily, the black cat held the Sancha Swanyan thorn a little tighter in his arms with its four paws. "Don't worry, if you wanted to rob it, I would have robbed it long ago. Why do you have to wait until now?" After studying in Mission Sutra Pavilion for a year, Su Junming felt that he was much less impetuous than before. Greed is not as strong as it used to be. I also have a deeper understanding of Taoist principles such as man follows the earth follows heaven, heaven follows Tao, and Tao follows nature. Now he truly has some Taoist quiet demeanor, and is not just a fake Taoist who has the appearance of Taoism but does not understand the truth. Black Cat thought so, but her instinctive suspicion made her choose to tell lies. "I accidentally got this from a cave in Funia Mountain." Su Junming smiled. When this guy was talking, he always forgot to look up. He was obviously lying. He didn't care about himself, he was just curious. "What is your relationship with Wu Lide? Why did you kill him?" "Humph, that bastard was collecting souls in Liujiawa, 10 miles away from here. I caught him and killed him." After saying that, he glanced at Su Junming with hidden contempt. "Are you telling the truth? What good will telling lies do to me? Will you let me go?" Judging from her eloquent words and her unabashed eyes looking at him, she must be telling the truth. Su Junming frowned, but Lisa Fang showed no resentment. It was obvious that he was not involved in this matter. It was just that Wu Lide was trapped in the valley. But Wu Lide was so distraught that it was impossible to find out the whole story through spiritualism. "Where are the souls Wu Lide collected?" "I was sent to the underworld for reincarnation." Having seen the talisman in its dantian that smells like reincarnation, this is true. "Tomorrow you take me to Liujiawa. Then let me go first." Su Junming looked indifferent. "If you tell me any more terms, I will accept your three evil mysterious yin thorns." Black Cat's expression changed, and he quickly hugged the baby a little tighter. The stick was beaten, and the sweet dates were also given. "But if you are obedient, I will let you restore your cultivation to the middle stage of Xiantian after arriving at Liujiawa." "Really?" The black cat's eyes lit up. Then, a black kitten's claw stretched out in front of him. "What? Hang yourself on a hook and you won't be allowed to change for 100 years. Su Junming's mouth twitched. "How old are you?" "I am already 20 years old. Is there any problem?" Su Junming's eyes flashed. Compared to the long life of a monster, 20 years old is obviously not yet an adult. However, he already has peak innate cultivation before he reaches adulthood, which shows how extraordinary this little guy's qualifications are. You must know that this is the era of the end of heaven's law, and it obviously has no teacher, and is just groping and practicing on its own. What kind of breed is this? What are you doing? He was so frightened by what he saw that Black Cat subconsciously wanted to step back, but was blocked by Su Junming's palm. "Here, how about letting me take a look at your teeth?" "Meow meow, you pervert, stinky Taoist priest." After feeling good about petting the cat, Su Junming let go of his hand. As soon as the black cat was free, it exerted all its strength and jumped more than 2 feet away with a swish. But it didn't run away. It had tried more than once before, and was brought back every time by the golden rope around its neck. "I want to meditate, you protect me," Su Junming explained. "Hanging yourself with a hook is such a naive thing, so he won't do it." Watching the big devil enter the state of concentration, Black Cat hesitated for a moment, then walked to the pillar of the mountain temple and lay down next to it. After trying hard to feel it, but still unable to detect even half of the magic power, Black Cat couldn't help but sigh. Thinking of the darkness that cats will live in the future, I couldn't help but shed tears sadly. Su Junming opened his eyes, glanced at it, smiled slightly, took out the purple sun lamp and placed it 1 foot in front of his knees, truly entering a state of concentration. This black cat has extraordinary qualifications and is quite capable. Not only does he have no resentment on his body, but he also has some merits and good nature. He is just the right person to be adopted as a spiritual beast to protect the law. It's just that this little guy has become wild since he was born. If he wants to tame him, it will take a lot of effort. However, Su Junming has plenty of time, and with a big stick and sweet dates, he is not afraid that this little guy will not take the bait. One person and one cat just fell silent. Time passed little by little, and the night became darker and darker. Suddenly there was the sound of footsteps, and the black cat opened his eyes and looked outside through the broken door of the mountain temple. Although his magic power is blocked, his talent still allows him to clearly see everything in the darkness. Somebody is coming. Thinking of what the big devil had told him, Black Cat subconsciously turned his head, but found that Su Junming had already opened his eyes. The cat curled his lips. "Cunning Taoist priest." The sounds of chaotic footsteps were getting closer and closer, and the sound of cars and horses also reached my ears from afar. "Madam, there is a mountain temple ahead." "Steward Zhang, it's difficult to travel on the mountain road at night, so let's spend the night in this mountain temple for the time being." "Yes, ma'am. Madam has ordered us to spend the night at the temple in front of the mountain. Everyone, please hurry up." Not long after, a group of people appeared on the mountain road in front of the mountain temple. When they got closer, they discovered that they were 20 or 30 strong men with swords and spears on their backs, surrounding a gorgeously decorated carriage. The driver sat on the left side of the carriage. Sitting on the right is a middle-aged butler in a brocade hood. A group of people came to the mountain temple, and a burly man walked in first with 2 guns in his waist and a sharp-edged machete on his back. Seeing the young Taoist sitting cross-legged in the middle of the mountain temple lobby, he subconsciously tightened his grip on the shell gun at his waist. He looked carefully for a moment, and there was a hint of solemnity in his expression. When he was young, he traveled around the world and knew that there were many monks and Taoists in the world, so he tried not to provoke them unless necessary. "Next to Lin Xiaogong, I've met the Taoist priest." She opened her eyes and glanced at him. "The place here is not small, you can just make yourself comfortable." "Then it's too much trouble." Lin Xiaogong turned around and left the mountain temple and came to the carriage. "Madam, there is a Taoist priest staying here overnight in the temple. Do you think?" "Butler Zhang. Lady. Have someone clean up a place and come out, don't disturb the Taoist priest." "Yes." The wealthy middle-aged man sitting on the carriage jumped down, summoned several guards, moved a box from the back of the carriage, and took it to the temple of the mountain temple. Butler Zhang glanced at the young Taoist sitting cross-legged, smiled and cupped his hands, then directed the guards to find a relatively clean place, opened the box, took out the oilcloth and spread it. After laying out a few more layers of brocade quilts, Butler Zhang turned around to report. It didn't take long, and with the sound of soft footsteps, a beautiful woman wearing a mink fur coat, with beautiful face and black hair and sideburns, led a little girl about 5 or 6 years old, and walked away accompanied by 2 maids. Come in. The beautiful woman looked at the young Taoist who was sitting cross-legged and meditating not far away with his eyes closed. Under the guidance of Butler Zhang, he came to the paved brocade quilt and sat down. You guys protect the madam and young lady? Yes. After handing over the guards, Butler Zhang came out to greet Lin Xiaogong to prepare dinner. Mom, there's a cat. The little girl stretched out her fat fingers and looked happily at the black cat lying under the courtyard pillar not far away with her big round eyes. Cat. The beautiful woman was stunned for a moment and followed her baby daughter's gaze. Sure enough, there was a black cat lying there. It's just that the light was too dim and the cat was black, so she didn't see it. A frown on one's brow. According to folklore, a black cat is a bad omen. Subconsciously, he hugged his daughter a little tighter to his arms. Nanny, be good, the cat is sleeping, let's not disturb it, okay? Good. The little girl nodded her head obediently, but her bright eyes never left the black cat. About 20 minutes later, Butler Zhang walked in. Madam, the meal is ready. Bring it here, my daughter is hungry too. After Butler Zhang nodded, he called the 2 maids out and brought over the prepared meals. Give that Taoist priest a copy too. Yes, ma'am. Butler Zhang took the order and went down, brought a bowl of beef soup and some noodles in a large porcelain bowl, and placed them in front of Su Junming. Taoist master, my wife invites the Taoist master to have a meal. Su Junming opened his eyes, looked at the food on the tray on the floor, looked at the beautiful woman, and nodded. Thank you, ma'am. Master Taoist, you're welcome. Looking at the black cat, spiritual consciousness transmits the sound. Stop drooling over there, come and eat. I don't want to eat food that comes from outside. Get used to your temper, come here, master. The golden lock on the black cat's neck flashed with golden light, causing it to fly over. This demon-subduing golden lock is not the one that Su Junming started with. It is a top-quality magic weapon that he refined with 12 top-quality pure yang silk threads and contains 10 treasures. If it weren't for this, it wouldn't be able to suppress the black cat at its peak. Ah, I will never give in. The black cat struggled. Su Junming activated the mind-purifying talisman, and with a snap of his fingers, a spiritual light penetrated the black cat's body, and the guy instantly calmed down. All resistance was gone, and he obediently walked to Su Junming and licked the beef soup from the porcelain bowl. After a big bowl of soup and all the beef in it, the black cat woke up. Ah, what did I do? I want to spit it out, I must spit it out. Ah, I won't eat the stinky Taoist priest's food, ow. The black cat shook its head and tail, trying to spit out the broth it had eaten. However, as a pekinate monster, its digestive ability is extremely powerful. After eating such a small amount of broth, it has been digested for a long time. How can it still vomit it out? Noticing the surprised looks on the beautiful woman's eyes, Su Junming smiled faintly. My pet has been in a bit of heat lately, so it's inevitable that it's causing some trouble, everyone, Layman Hai Han. Meow, you're the only one who's in heat, your whole family is in heat too. Su Junming narrowed his eyes. The black cat trembled and shut up instantly. Being held captive by Su Junming for these days, every time he had this expression on his face, he would be in trouble. The pain that came from the depths of her soul made her shudder. Taoist priest, it's okay. If the broth is not enough, I will ask Butler Zhang to serve another bowl. Thank you, madam, for your kindness. One bowl is enough. Uncle Taoist master, can I play with the kitten? The little girl's eyes showed desire. Nanny. Madam scolded. The little guy pouted his mouth, looking like he was about to cry. The beautiful woman looked at Su Junming with helpless and pleading eyes. He smiled slightly and was about to speak when his face changed slightly and he turned to look outside. Countless small and rapid footsteps surrounded him from all directions, and there was a faint chill in the air. Meow. The black cat instantly arched its upper body, obviously aware of the abnormality. Taoist priest. Madam, let your guards reach their realm. An uninvited guest is coming, Su Junming interrupted. The beautiful woman's face changed. Although this young Taoist didn't show any supernatural powers, he dared to walk alone in troubled times. He obviously had real abilities. Steward Zhang, go and notify Guard Lin to be alert. Yes, ma'am. Butler Zhang glanced at Su Junming, turned around and hurried out. After a short time, I saw the guards who were eating and drinking outside and taking a rest. They immediately became alert. Under the command of Lin Xiaogong, he quickly pulled out several fire power points configured in echelons. The mountain temple is guarded in the center. Su Junming instantly understood that most of these people were elites who had been in the army for a long time. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 155. Chapter 154, Bloody Mountain Temple. Snapped. A sudden gunshot broke the silence of the night. Gunfire like fried beans rang out instantly. The beautiful woman's face changed drastically, and she looked at Su Junming with a hint of gratitude in her eyes. If he hadn't reminded him, his side would have been caught off guard. You don't have to guess what will happen then. The gunfire rang out for a while, and the screams after being shot came over. The dark night and the dilapidated and dirty mountain temple added a bit of horror. Mom, I'm afraid. There was a hint of fear on the little girl's face. Nanny, be good. Mom is here, so don't be afraid. Holding her daughter tightly, the beautiful woman showed a calm look on her face, but her slightly trembling body showed that she was not as calm in her heart as she appeared. But compared to the two maids next to him who were like sifting chaff, they were much stronger. It's quite courageous. But after tonight, it caused me a lot of trouble for nothing. Those who died in battle all died violently, and their souls cannot enter the underworld. They need to be saved by monks. As a Taoist exorcist, Su Junming not only had to save these people, but also sent their bodies back to his hometown for burial. On a hill 1,000 meters away from the mountain temple, a one-eyed man with a fierce aura and a flattering smile said to the middle-aged woman wearing a moon-white dress and a cold expression next to him. Don't worry, holy envoy. In half an hour at most, we in Haiyun village will capture the woman and bring her to the holy envoy. The middle-aged woman said with a hint of arrogance in her tone. Remember, don't hurt that woman and child, otherwise I will have you in Haiyun village buried with you. The one-eyed man's heart trembled. He had seen this woman's methods with his own eyes in the past few days. He is not afraid of death. But I want to die, but I can't, and I have to endure all the torture, which is even more terrible. Yes, don't worry, holy envoy. I have told you again and again to ensure that the brothers will not make any mistakes. It better be so. Brother. A lean young man wearing a black button-down gown and holding a rifle in his hand ran up from the bottom of the mountain. After glancing fearfully at the middle-aged woman next to him, he bit the bullet and said, Brother, the mountain temple has been prepared for a long time. Our sneak attack failed. What? The one-eyed man's expression changed. How are you now? Those guys have accurate marksmanship and rely on the favorable terrain of the mountain temple. Although the brothers have a large number of people, they suffered heavy losses in the attack. A bunch of trash. The middle-aged woman said angrily. The one-eyed man and the thin man lowered their heads, feeling angry but not daring to show it at all. Get your men out. Although I really want to kill these people who are not doing things well, Haiyun village is a peripheral force that operates secretly within the section. If the killing is too much, it will not be good after all. Yes, yes, I'm going right away. The strong man nodded quickly. The holy envoys within the sect are not reckless men like them who only know how to use fists and kicks. They are monks who can truly restrain gods and ghosts, and control wind and thunder. Their methods are powerful. Once offended, I don't know how to die. As soon as the bandits in Haeun village withdrew, the gunfire stopped instantly. Looking at the mountain temple shrouded in darkness, the middle-aged female cultivator took out a black jar 1 foot high and palm wide from her bag. After taking off the sealing talisman on the tube, Zhou Zhong pinched the seal, and there was a strange tenderness in the tone of the middle-aged female cultivator. "Baby, come out." "Hee, ha ha." Several childish voices with endless gloominess sounded inexplicably, and a black wind spread from the mouth of the jar. The bone-piercing cold air made the one-eyed man shiver, and his eyes when he looked at the black jar were filled with fear. Laugh. The cold air became more and more intense, and the surrounding flowers and plants seemed to have been splashed with sulfuric acid, and they quickly became withered and yellow, losing all their vitality. Hee, ha ha. 3 white figures flew out of the black jar and transformed into 1 man, 2 women, and 3 naked children of 5 or 6 years old. The cyan face, black eyes, and the pale body of a corpse that had been soaked in water for 3 days and 3 nights, combined with the ferocious eyes, made people shudder. The one-eyed man asked himself that he was killing people like crazy, but when these 3 brats took one look at him, he felt a cold air rushing from his back to the sky. Shocked, he took 2 steps back. The bandits around him were even worse than him, and quite a few of them were peeing and pooping. After giving them a contemptuous look, the middle-aged female cultivator waved her hand. "Children, kill all the men in that mountain temple." Hee, ha ha. The 3 little ghosts circled around the female cultivator and then disappeared in an instant. Huh? There's something ghostly about it? Su Junming suddenly turned his head and looked into the night sky outside the hall. After his cultivation progresses further, his spiritual consciousness can cover a 50-foot radius around his body. Whenever any evil and sneaky person enters, his spiritual consciousness will immediately react. A look of anger appeared on his face. What he hates most is the evil cultivators who use babies to practice. You must know that countless souls may have to wait for decades, or even hundreds of years, in the sky above the underworld before they get a chance to be reincarnated as a human being. As a result, as soon as he was born, before he could enjoy the prosperity of the world, he would become a ghost again and even be tortured continuously. There is nothing more tragic in the world than this. You won't be able to become a ghost this time. After the thought fell, Su Junming's figure disappeared into the mountain temple in an instant like lightning. Ah! When a maid saw it, she screamed in fright. "Ghost, ghost." At this moment, the beautiful woman also noticed Su Junming disappearing into the hall, coupled with the shouts of the 2 maids, she also got up in a panic. "Foolish mortal." The black cat glanced at them arrogantly, then walked out of the palace door with a hooves movement. Su Junming stood on the roof of the main hall, looking at the 3-headed imp flying in the dark night in the distance. He pulled his belt and threw it out. This golden lock for subduing demons that he used to sacrifice with Diang grass. In the past year, he had refined the 7th treasure taboo and was promoted to a top-grade magic weapon. However, the potential of Diang grass as the main material has been completely exhausted. Unless he is willing to spend hard work to collect yang qi and continue to practice, otherwise the earliest golden lock for subduing demons can only be used as a belt, or used like today. Damn it! Of course, you can also fight monsters as you do now. The dazzling golden lock was like a sky-shattering rainbow, streaking across the sky. In the blink of an eye, he suppressed 3 imps who were of the highest quality. There are monks here. The golden rainbow was particularly conspicuous in the dark night, and the middle-aged female cultivator naturally saw it too. Immediately afterwards, she felt that the 3 Gumantung she had painstakingly trained lost contact. How could this be? Shocked, she repeatedly used magic techniques to activate it, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't sense it at all. Just when she was extremely anxious, a feeling of being watched suddenly rose from the bottom of her heart. Subconsciously raising his head, a tall figure flying towards her quickly came into view. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 156. Chapter 155, 3 Yin Transformation Blood Knife. Not good. The middle-aged female cultivator turned around and ran away without saying a word. She can't deal with someone who can suppress 3 Dongzhen medium-grade Gumantung in the blink of an eye. Run? How could I let you run away? The golden vertical eyes on his forehead disappeared, Su Junming waved, and the purple sun lamp in the hall flew into his palm with a ray of fire. Taking one step forward, Su Junming disappeared instantly. Call. A huge fireball with a diameter of 1 foot suddenly appeared in front of the middle-aged female cultivator. In shock, she tried her best to dodge, and the fireball flew past her body. However, under the high temperature, his clothes were completely burned, his yellow flesh was burnt red, and blisters of various sizes appeared in many places. You are so ugly. Seeing the young Taoist priest who appeared 3 feet away, the middle-aged female cultivator was filled with anger and fear. Who are you? You don't need to know who I am. You are playing with your soul, sacrificing child ghosts, and are committing heinous crimes. Today, I will send you to the underworld to eliminate a great harm to the world. As long as it is within his own capabilities, Su Junming doesn't mind accumulating a few more merits. Then you go die first. The middle-aged female cultivator shouted loudly, shaking her hands and throwing out countless black shadows, while she quickly retreated. She is not a fool. This young Taoist priest cannot tell the difference, but his cultivation is definitely above her own. As soon as my heart moved, the flames of the Xiang lantern rolled, and the fire waves about 10 feet wide burned the scorpions and poisonous snakes in the air to ashes. The god of Hushan performs magic. Su Junming arrived first and blocked the way of the middle-aged female cultivator again. Ouch! With the deafening roar, the light of Xiang Den instantly turned into a 2-foot-long fire dragon, rolling towards the middle-aged female cultivator. Seeing that she couldn't escape, the middle-aged female cultivator gritted her teeth, slapped her chest hard, and several mouthfuls of blood flew out. 3 Yin Transformation Blood Knife. 3-foot-long blood knives condensed into shape and took the initiative to face the flying fire dragon. Boom! The flames exploded and the heat wave billowed, turning the area within a 3-foot radius into a sea of fire. Su Junming activated the Xiang lantern, and the billowing waves of fire rolled back, revealing the middle-aged female cultivator behind her. What you just used was the 3 Yin Transformation Blood Knife among the 19 special skills of the White Lotus sect. The White Lotus sect caused cholera in Jiangnan by relying on more than just the White Lotus Sutra, the Maitreya Great Yuan Gong and the 9 Heaven Seal script for gods and demons. In addition to these 3 famous religious suppressing magic skills, the White Lotus sect also has 19 skills that are similar to the 36 authentic skills of Mission Nanzang, and the Sanyan Transformation Blood Knife is one of them. It is said that this unique skill is to use one's own essence and blood as a guide, and use the chi of Taiyin, Shaiyin, and Xuanyin as a surface to practice a blood knife. Anyone who is struck by this blood knife will have the essence, blood, and soul of the whole body sucked away by it. The more killings, the stronger the power, the more sinister and powerful it is. Hee, it's a pity that I have never been able to truly understand this sword technique and condense the blood sword, otherwise I will kill you this time. At the peak of the White Lotus sect, it was also destroyed by the righteous way. A mere 3 Yin blood sword means nothing. That's because you, the Fulu sect, are working together to bully the few. Seeing how angry she was, Su Junming's eyes flashed. It seems that you really have a close connection with the White Lotus sect, not just some inheritance. The middle-aged female nun was speechless and said angrily, "You are so treacherous. You are just too stupid. After all, where are the remnants of your White Lotus sect hidden? If I tell you, can you let me go?" The middle-aged female cultivator's eyes flickered. "As long as you tell the truth, I will let you go." "Okay, let me tell you, our headquarters is here, go to hell." The body of the middle-aged female cultivator exploded instantly. The surging energy instantly destroyed everything within 3 feet, and the trees within 10 feet were broken and left in a mess. Before she could use this desperate move, Su Junming used the Huishan Shen Xin technique to avoid it. "Knowing that you are a remnant of the White Lotus sect, how could I not be on guard against your blood explosion technique?" At that time, various sects of Sanchin talisman were encircling and suppressing the White Lotus sect, and many disciples of each sect died under this blood explosion technique. Therefore, the records of the White Lotus sect in the Sutra Pavilion will focus on recording this technique of common death. Su Junming remembered it after reading it. Living. Looking at the soul that was flying away so fast, Su Junming took a step forward and covered the distance of 100 feet in an instant. Ever since the Huishan magic talisman advanced to the blue stage and became the natal talisman, the limit distance of Huishan Shen's magic has crossed 100 feet. Every time the Huishan magic talisman in the blue stage increases by 1 foot, the distance covered by Huishan Shen's magic will increase by 30 feet. Crash. 12 soul-binding chains sealed the sky and the earth, and the soul of the middle-aged female cultivator was captured instantly. Seeing her disbelieving expression, Su Junming smiled faintly. "Can we have a nice chat now?" "Kill me, I don't know anything." The middle-aged female cultivator's face turned gloomy, and she completely lost her desire to escape. "This is not the answer I want." Su Junming flicked out a white spiritual light from the curved finger of his left hand, and after entering the body of the middle-aged female cultivator, she felt a sharp pain that seemed to tear her entire soul into pieces, causing her to scream loudly. "Spare your life, I say, I say." This soul-splitting technique was something he learned from the puppet talisman in the past year. As long as enough magic power is applied, this is a secret killing technique. If it is to control mana, this is also a secret art of punishment. Although the method is a bit cruel, this woman actually refined a child ghost, and no matter how ruthless the method is used on her, it will not be too much. Su Junming withdrew his magic power and looked at the panting middle-aged female cultivator. "May I have your name?" "Zhou Fang." "Where did it come from?" "Southern Borneo." "Nanyang?" No wonder the accent is so weird. "Were you driving those bandits?" "Yes." "Why are you chasing that woman?" "She is the wife of Yang Qi, the commander of the 2nd Division of the Nanhu Revolutionary Army. I want to control them and let Yang Qi be used by the holy cult." "The holy sect is the White Lotus sect." "Exactly. Where is your headquarters?" "Our headquarters is..." Zhou Fang's expression froze, and she suddenly stopped moving. A white lotus appeared on her forehead. "Not good." A blue talisman floated from Su Junming's head. "Pure Heart Talisman." The bright blue light swept across Zhou Fang's soul, and the growth of the white lotus suddenly stopped, but soon started growing again. Su Junming's magic power increased fiercely, and the power of the Pure Heart Talisman was exerted to its maximum, but it was still unable to suppress the growth of the white lotus. Gradually, Zhou Fang's soul was swallowed up by the white lotus, and finally turned into specks of light and scattered in all directions. Su Junming withdrew his magic power and took a deep breath. What a powerful White Lotus Sutra! Rumor has it that the White Lotus Sutra is a Buddhist method, and it practices the Buddhist path of cause and effect. The person who imposes karma on the address of the White Lotus sect's main altar must practice the path of karma, which is obviously better than his skill in the pure heart path. Otherwise, Zhou Fang's soul would not have been shattered just now. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 157. Chapter 156 Polariscope. It seems that after 100 years of rest, the White Lotus sect is ready to make another move. Looking at the blood and minced meat on the ground, Su Junming's purple sun lamp flashed and burned everything. He found a clean place, took out a black magic bag, broke the seal on it, and fell to the ground. There are not many things: a bottle of 56 yellow bud pills, 1,300 taels of silver notes, a medium-grade sealing altar of yin from the cave, and a low-grade 100-soul banner from the cave array. There are also several bottles of poison with unknown effects. No. Originally, he wanted to find some clues about the White Lotus sect from Zhou Fang's magic bag. Now it seems that after losing once, they acted much more carefully. A core member of the Xiantian middle stage didn't have anything on his body to prove his identity. Forget it, if you don't have it, you won't have it. After putting these things into his bag according to categories, Su Junming took out a round mirror. After a burst of mana popped up, not long after, Zhao Lai's figure appeared on it. Disciple Su Junming meets the leader. Junming, are you using the Polariscope for something important? Back to the master, my disciple encountered the remnants of the White Lotus sect while practicing Taoism in Liuzhu. Su Junming told the story of meeting Zhou Fang tonight. But looking at Zhao Lai's expression, he didn't seem too surprised. Master, do you already know about the resurgence of the White Lotus sect? That's right. 10 years ago, when the disciples of our sect were practicing Taoism, they encountered the remnants of the White Lotus section. In the following 10 years, all the sects under the Sanchen talisman also encountered them. However, these remnants of the White Lotus sect were very sophisticated and difficult to hunt down. Even if 1 or 2 core demon gangs are captured, their souls will be shattered and die due to the relationship between the cause and effect of the White Lotus Sutra, and no core secrets will be found at all. Su Junming frowned slightly. Are we going to let them develop like this? Of course not. Although we haven't found the main altar of the White Lotus sect in recent years, we have also figured out several of their branches in China. It's just that we don't have the opportunity and don't want to alert the snake. I see, this disciple is worrying too much. No, it's great that you can remember the sect and protect the right path. Thank you for the praise, headmaster. I'm sure you don't deserve it. Zhao Lai smiled. Junming, I will retire in a few years. At that time, the position of leader will be chosen between the senior brother of the generation named K, and your senior brother of the generation Chang. Shi Jian, the senior brother of the K generation, is narrow-minded and selfish. He is not a suitable candidate to be the leader. Among the Chang generation, Chang Qing's cultivation is not as good as yours, and Fixu is even worse. So the next generation leader of mission will probably be you. So remember to be careful in your words and deeds, practice diligently, and don't let down my expectations. Disciples must obey the master's instructions. After Zhao Lai nodded, his figure slowly disappeared from the polarizing mirror. Head of mission? I don't know what it feels like. Shaking his head, he didn't have much desire for the position of leader. It's okay to do it right or wrong. He stretched out his hand and the polarizing mirror fell into his palm. This high-grade magic weapon was given to him by the headmaster himself when he left the section. In addition to being used to contact the sect, it also contains the full power of the elder of the sect's late golden elixir, the drunk Taoist Jiao Malong. At critical moments, you can use it to save your life. This was the way the sect protected him after he became the golden elixir seed. I have to say that it's really nice to enjoy the shade with the big tree at your back. After putting away the polarizing mirror and taking out the three-headed child ghost suppressed by the demon-subduing golden lock, Su Junming's heart moved, and the yin and yang mill flew out of his danshan. The millstone rotated, and the resentment from the three-headed child ghost was sucked out. After about a quarter of an hour, the resentment disappeared, and the three-headed child ghost returned to his ignorant and well-behaved appearance. "Wow, I'm looking for my mom." Seeing Su Junming, the little girl burst out crying. The remaining two boys were also on the verge of tears. Su Junming instantly jumped up and down, and asked him to slay demons and ghosts without even frowning. However, he had never done this before in his entire life, and he didn't know how to coax a child. There is no other way but to temporarily seal them and send them to the underworld for reincarnation the next time they do something. Back at the mountain temple, the remaining bandits had already run away, and Su Junming was too lazy to chase them. As for those who died, and those who died in the guard, they dug a big hole and buried them together. In this case, Su Junming no longer has to send them home. After all, people have already been laid to rest, and it would be wrong for you to dig them out again. Collect the remaining lonely souls that have not been reincarnated, lest they become scattered souls or wandering ghosts, causing harm to the world. Taoist master, are you back? Seeing Su Junming come in, the beautiful woman quickly stepped forward to greet him. "Why, don't you think of me as a ghost?" There was a trace of embarrassment on the beautiful woman's face. "My naked eyes are mortal, and I don't realize that the Taoist master is actually a true immortal who has attained the Tao. I spoke nonsense for a moment, and I hope that the Taoist master will forgive me." Su Junming waved his hand. "Forget it, those who don't know are not guilty. In addition, the invading bandits have dispersed, and the evil cultivator who wanted to kidnap you was also killed by me. I have repaid the favor of this meal. I have no causal relationship with you, say goodbye. Taoist master, please stay." A stream of yellow light flew into the woman's arms. "This magical talisman is given to your beloved to ward off evil spirits and eliminate disasters. It has endless magical uses. It can be regarded as a farewell gift for the poor Taoist." The voice was whispering, but the person was already far away. Looking at the magic talisman folded into a triangle in her hand, the beautiful woman felt disappointed. A Taoist master missed it because of his own negligence. Liujiawa is a large village and town located next to the river, with a population of no less than 4,000 or 5,000. It can be said to be densely populated, prosperous. The main roads between the north and the south are busy with cars and horses. Many merchants do not hesitate to take a detour to avoid the tax card at Lingnan Pass, which is 100 miles away. Therefore, there are many restaurants and wine shops on the main roads of villages and towns, which is extremely lively. On this day, a young Taoist priest with a black cat lying on his right shoulder and a yellow bag slung across his left shoulder walked into the town. "Why did you come to Liujiawa? Those ghosts who were harmed have been sent to the underworld by me a long time ago." "What can you find out?" Black Cat asked through the voice transmission. "I have my own reasons. The Wu family practices corpse refining. Although Su Junming doesn't know much about it, he also knows that the best thing to promote the advancement of corpse refining is the mysterious essence. The so-called zombie Xiaoyu is for this reason. Of course, human body essence and blood are also very useful for zombies. The yang energy can warm and nourish the zombie's body, making it gradually regain its resilience and no longer become a rigid body. Souls are not something zombies like, so Wu Lide's collection of souls doesn't make sense. As for the black cat's lies, Su Junming has observed and tested it many times and asked about the details clearly. It should not be a lie. That being the case, this is interesting. Of course, curiosity is one thing. Another important reason why he came to Liujiawa was to deliver the corpse. After crossing the main street and briefly browsing the scenery of Liujiawa, Su Junming came to the outskirts of the village. The bronze mirror light flashed in his eyes. A mile away, a grey corpse aura came into view. "Looks like it's there." After getting off the main road, we passed through a muddy path that could only be passed by one person. After bypassing the woods ahead, we saw a wooden house in front of us. The house must have been built a long time ago. Unknown fungi grew on the wood, and the stone slab in front of the door was covered with moss. After briefly looking at the words Liu Jiawayazwang under the black and rotten thatch, Su Junming knocked on the door. Who? A hoarse and old voice came from inside. The corpse exorcist from mission. Oh, Taoist priest, wait a moment. The steps were a little hasty. After the sound of the door being pulled out, there was a squeak and the closed door opened. An old man with messy hair and a haggard appearance walked out wearing an old blouse of blue-gray homespun with many patches woven into it, and a pair of worn-out straw sandals. After sizing up Su Junming, he bowed slightly. Well, Taoist priest, old man Lu Si is polite. Lu Shi is polite. Is the Taoist priest here to drive away the corpse? Exactly. Please come in. After Su Junming came in, Lu Si closed the door and took him into the yard. This is a large courtyard with a main room and side rooms on both sides. Although it is not small in size, it is built with wooden boards, and many of them are even filled with branches. The walls are leaky and rudimentary. Some vegetables were planted in the yard, leaving only a dirt path of about 1 meter connecting the 3 rooms. Among them, the stone steps of the left wing are extremely smooth, and it is obvious that people often step on them. If nothing unexpected happens, it should be the old man's residence. The main room is full of gloom and is where the corpses are stored. The right wing is very old, with a lot of dead branches and leaves stacked at the door. It has obviously been uninhabited for a long time. Taoist master, please come with me. Old layman, please. The two of them pushed open the main door of the main room one after another. In May and June, the weather in the south was extremely hot, but as soon as they entered the main room, the temperature instantly dropped by 6 to 7 degrees. A biting coldness made people involuntarily feel a chill coming from the bottom of their hearts. There was also a strong corpse smell that penetrated the nose and mouth. Su Junming had been chasing corpses for a long time, and Su Junming was so familiar with the smell that he didn't think it was anything. After Lu Si entered the door, he first walked through the central aisle, walked inside, offered incense to the enshrined Zhongkui, bowed 3 times, and then turned around. Taoist priest, these coffins are the souls of the dead without owners. I would like to ask Taoist priest to send them back to their hometown for burial. Su Junming nodded and looked at the old and new coffins, which were about 60 years old. After sensing it with his spiritual consciousness, his brows furrowed. Why are there no dead souls? Although there are no monks to suppress the Xiazhuang, the souls of the dead naturally like places with strong yin energy. Within a few miles around Yazhuang, the yin qi is the strongest here. It stands to reason that the souls of the deceased will stay here with their bodies. But now, except for corpses, there is not even half a ghost here. When something goes wrong, there must be a monster. Become a disciple of Taoist priest for us. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 158. Chapter 157, The Talisman of Reincarnation. I dare to ask the old layman, has there been any abnormality in this morgue recently? Abnormal. Lu Si frowned and thought for a moment, with a trace of hesitation on his face. It's unusual. In the past, this room was very noisy at night, but there has been no sound since last month. The old man was still strange at that time, but he didn't have any magic power and didn't know the reason, so he didn't pay much attention. Old layman, can you recall in detail, what day last month did this incident happen? After Lu Si nodded, he thought hard for a while, then pinched a few beards under his chin and said, I remember that day, Master Lu Murakami just delivered a new corpse. It should be May 23 RD. May 23rd, it's already the 16th day. The black cat fought with Wu Lied on May 28th, and it seemed that he was the one who took away these souls. Thank you, husband, for informing me. Master Taoist, you're welcome. Lusi waved his hands hurriedly. Su Junming took out the meteorite ball from the magic bag, stamped his left foot, and invisible vibrations spread out. There were continuous bang-bang sounds, and the coffin lid opened automatically. He drew a space compression talisman in the air with his right hand and grabbed it with his left hand. All the corpses were compressed into the size of a steel needle and put into the meteorite ball. These corpses have lost their souls, so there is no point in rushing back. He planned to find a place to bury him tomorrow. He took back the meteor ball and frowned slightly as he looked at the morgue that was leaking air everywhere. He pinched a few seals with his right hand, and green light shone. Aokiju. In an instant, countless wrist-thick vines grew out of the ground, climbing and growing rapidly along the surrounding walls in just a few breaths. The morgue has been airtightly wrapped in a foot-thick rattan. Nodding with satisfaction, Su Junming stopped. As long as there is no fire, it is enough to ensure that this morgue will stand for 100 years. He walked up to Zhong Kui's portrait, bowed and saluted, his right hand turned into a sword finger, and he muttered something. Master Zhong Kui, the sage who catches ghosts and suppresses the house, is here. Su Junming, a disciple of Mission Nanzang, prays for 3 days. I respectfully ask the sage to bring his supreme magic power and dharma to come, suppress ghosts and eliminate disasters, and protect the house. Urgent. Su Junming spread out his left palm, and the phantom of the divine fire seal of the 9 elder immortal capitals appeared in his palm. He raised his halberd finger, and a spiritual light floated on the divine fire seal and disappeared into the portrait. Only a moment later, Zhong Kui's portrait on the painting paper showed a hazy aura. The aura lasted for a few seconds and then disappeared. But the portrait of Zhong Kui above has an inexplicable charm, as if he has lived enough. Su Junming breathed a sigh of relief. Buddhism has consecration, and Taoism has enlightenment. Just now, he used the spell of enlightenment inherited from Mission and used the fire seal of the 9 heavenly capital gods as a medium to introduce a trace of Saint Lord Zhong Kui's demon-conquering power to the portrait. Old layman. Mage. Lusi, who was surprised by Su Junming's magic power, quickly came over, his attitude more respectful than before. From now on, if you offer 3 sticks of incense to Master Zhong every day, the ghosts in this room will stop causing trouble. Thank you, Master. Lusi said gratefully. In the past, when he lived in this village, he was often teased by these ghosts. It would be great if this could be avoided. You're welcome. Old layman, I want to stay in your right-hand room for a few days. Is it okay? The master wants to stay, and it's not too late for me to welcome him. But the right wing has been unoccupied for a long time, and there are a lot of debris accumulated in it, so I'm afraid it won't be able to get into the master's golden eyes. It doesn't matter, the poor man has his own way, Su Junming interrupted. Lusi nodded, thinking of the young Taoist priest's ability just now, and said nothing more. That being the case, the master can just stay here. I wonder what the master will eat. How can I prepare it for the master? I have already gone without food and don't need food. The old layman can just do what he wants and don't need to worry about me. I know. Master, please come with me. Su Junming led Su Junming out of the morgue in the Yazhuang Hall and came to the right wing. The simple door was only tied with an iron chain. After unlocking it, he pushed it and dust fell down. Su Junming waved his sleeves, and a strong wind blew through, taking away all the dust. Squeak. A slightly harsh friction sound sounded. A room filled with broken coffins, old benches, covered with dust and covered with cobwebs came into view. With a sound of swish, several snakes and rats hurriedly crawled towards the corner. Taoist master, how about changing to another place? This place is too dilapidated. It's just that the room is messy and shabby, but the key is that a large piece of the wall is broken. How can a place like this be inhabited unless it is renovated? Su Junming smiled and shook his head. I drew the Zhongbaikan talisman casually. The Taoist magic power is so magical. As soon as the light of the talisman flashed, all the dust in the room was swept away. With a wave of his sleeves, the broken coffins and benches in the room flew out from the breach in the wall. You guys should find another place to live. This place will be on Pandeo for the time being. He waved his sleeves again, and the snakes and rats flew out. A green wood light popped up, and the scene in the morgue reappeared. Countless rat hands climbed along the wall and automatically avoided the door. In the blink of an eye, the walls that were leaking air became thick and complete. Su Junming stamped his foot, and an earth-yellow light flashed through him. The uneven ground instantly became smooth and hard, and grew by 1 foot out of thin air. Then he took out a futon from the magic bag and placed it in the center of the room. Su Junming nodded with satisfaction. Old layman, this poor Taoist will settle down here for the time being. Sorry for disturbing you. There was a hint of shock in Lucy's eyes. After he recovered, he nodded respectfully. Master, you can stay here for as long as you like. Thank you. Seeing that he wanted to chase away the guests, Lu Sigui said. Master has been tired all the way, so I won't bother you. If anything happens, just go to the left wing and let me know. After seeing Su Junming nod, Lu Si took a few steps back, turned around, closed the door and left. The black cat jumped off his shoulder. Those corpses have long since lost their souls, why are you collecting them? No big or small, what did I tell you before? The black cat's body froze, and then he reluctantly sent a message from his spiritual consciousness. Master. That's pretty much it. Cat training has begun to bear fruit. The black cat curled his lips. Although he was dissatisfied, who said he couldn't help himself now? Looking at Su Junming, who was sitting cross-legged, the black cat rolled its eyes, with a hint of flattery on its face, and stepped forward and rubbed his knees. Sir, Meow Meow has been very well behaved these days. Do you think you can give me the golden elixir chapter of the Yuan Yang scripture? Su Junming raised his eyelids slightly and glanced at the black cat with a flattering look on his face. After spending these days together, he also knew this little guy's name, Mao Meow Meow. Mao is the homophone of cat, and the word meow is her own name, which makes her look like a Lolita. However, Mao Meow Meow's current age is indeed in its infancy compared to the monster's long lifespan. Have you finished practicing the Xiantian chapter? Not yet, but soon. It's almost there, but there is none. When you have converted all your demonic power into Taoist mana, and when you are innately perfect and have realized the fundamental talisman of the samsara path to the late blue stage, come to me to get the golden elixir chapter of the Yuan Yang Zhenjiang. The demon clan has to cultivate to a certain level before they can awaken the inherited skills in their bloodline. Mao Meow Meow is obviously still far behind. Therefore, the demonic power was mixed. Even though he had peak innate cultivation and a top-grade magic weapon and a top-quality magic weapon in his hand, he was still easily suppressed by Su Junming. Therefore, after subduing this little guy, he used the Yuan Yang Zhenjing to make sweet dates and lured it to take the bait. Yuan Yang Zhenjing is a technique that Su Junming created by combining his own knowledge and with the help of bronze mirrors. At present, there are only the foundation building chapter and the innate chapter. He has not accumulated enough about the golden pill chapter. In addition, he cannot practice it and has no practical understanding. He may not be able to practice it even if he creates it. However, with the Shangqing Daidong Sutra in hand, he did not intend to practice other techniques. As long as it can whet Mao Meow Meow's appetite and make it inseparable from you. Mao Meow Meow curled her mouth, turned around, walked to the corner and climbed down. Su Junming stretched out his hand and pointed, and the golden lock on Mao Meow Meow's neck flashed with golden light and seemed to relax a little. Mao Meow Meow stiffened and looked at Su Junming with a hint of excitement in her eyes. You have been quite honest these days. I will temporarily restore your initial innate magic power. Actually, even if I return to the middle stage of Xiantian, I am no match for you, sir, Mao Miao Miao said flatteringly. Don't push yourself too far, just protect me. After that, he closed his eyes. Mao Miao Miao's face wrinkled. Cheapskate. But after sensing the long-lost magic power in his Danshan, he suddenly became happy again. The palm-sized body instantly expanded to the size of a cheetah, and then shrank back again. The cat's face was filled with excitement and he was having a great time playing. Su Junming took one look and closed his eyes. The three-legged Earth Emperor Talisman, Yin-Yang Talisman and Space Talisman in his Danshan are now joined by a compass-shaped black talisman. This is the reincarnation he has understood through observing Mao Miao Miao's Danshan in the past half-month. Dharma. Since he understood this talisman, he found that he could vaguely sense the existence of the underworld. Unlike before, you had to open a magic altar and use the 9-layered God fire seal to do it. And the more you understand, the clearer this feeling becomes. Open. After comprehending for a while, Su Junming suddenly opened his eyes and shouted. In an instant, a dark, cold, and miserable black hole the size of a wash basin leading to nowhere appeared inexplicably 7 feet in front of Su Junming. Seeing this scene, Mao Miao Miao's jaw almost dropped. Su Junming flew his hand seals, and 3-foot-sized white cranes flew out of his seals. The white crane carries a strong aura, dancing gracefully around Su Junming and chirping, just like a living creature. After gathering the 12 white cranes, Su Junming stopped sealing and took out a copper bowl filled with yellow rice from the bag. With the magic power drawn, countless ghosts flew out from it. Here are the lonely ghosts he captured along the way, as well as the fierce ghosts rescued from the evil monks. There are a total of 200 of them. The white crane protects the road, and the ghosts are not on the way. As soon as the magic power is activated, whether you like it or not, you will go to the underworld to reincarnate. 12 white cranes also flew in one by one. In the end, there were 7 little ghosts left standing in the air. After bowing to Su Junming, they flew into the netherworld under the protection of the white crane. Looking at their backs, Su Junming sighed. These 7 little ghosts are the 7 sons of the 9-son mother demon that he saved. As early as half a year ago, Su Junming refined their grievances, but it was only today that he had the opportunity to send them to reincarnation. I hope you can be reborn in a peaceful era in your next life and live until the end of your life. As soon as the mana was withdrawn, the black hole gradually shrank and soon disappeared. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 159. Chapter 158, Sending the Corpse Back Home. With the breath of the talisman of reincarnation, how come you know this way? Mao Miao Miao rushed forward with excitement. From the time it became a Taoist to the present, I have never seen anyone else know this Taoist method except it. Su Junming is the first one. If I said I learned it from you, would you believe it? Impossible, I never taught you. You don't need to teach me. Master, I just need to watch it a few times and I will know it naturally. Mao Miao Miao was stunned, and her little paws instantly covered her lower abdomen. Rogue. Su Junming twitched the corners of his mouth, and countless black lines instantly dropped from his forehead. Go away, I don't even look at a beautiful female monk, why would I look at you, a lowly cat? He waved his sleeves and slapped Mao Miao Miao aside. Mao Miao Miao curled her lips. I don't know who touches people all day long. Su Junming's expression froze. Although it felt good to pet the cat, his mood became less and less beautiful as he petted the intelligent cat. Too lazy to pay attention to the lowly cat, Su Junming took out a jade box from his bag. After opening it, a blue-white egg the size of a football appeared inside. Holding the jade box with both hands, the magic power was lost bit by bit towards the egg. Ever since I followed Su Junming, seeing him look like this every day has long lost my original curiosity. After a brief look, he found a corner and lay down, following the innate chapter of the Yuan Yang Zhenjing passed down by Su Junming, to polish his magic power and improve his Taoism. Time passed little by little, and an hour later, Su Junming stopped. Looking at the bluebird egg that was still motionless in his hand, he sighed slightly. He has been raised with mana for a year, but there is still no sign of hatching. If he hadn't sensed that the vitality in the egg was getting stronger and stronger, he would have given up. After closing the jade box and putting it back into the magic bag, Su Junming began today's homework. Space Dao, Yin Yang Dao, Earth Emperor Dao, Reincarnation Dao, Sword Dao, Soul Dao, Divine Strike Dao, Thunder Dao, Formation Dao, Weapon Refining Dao, Sealing Dao, and Greenwood Dao. These are the 12 Taoist methods he has now comprehended. The Flame Tao, which originally belonged to the 12 Taoists, has been replaced by the Reincarnation Tao. He can only practice 12 Taoist methods at the same time. Naturally, the more potential Taoist methods are, the better. The potential of the flame path is obviously not as good as the samsara path. Of course, if one could understand the way of fire to the extreme, it would be powerful enough to burn the sky and boil the sea, but the simple way of fire is too easy to be restrained. Moreover, the flame path is divided into yang fire and yin fire. Yang fire is called Bing fire and yin fire is called Ding fire. Pure Yang spirit fire and Qian Tian spirit fire are both in the category of Bing fire, Shui Yin spirit fire and Earth Vein spirit fire are both in the category of Ding fire. The Earth Emperor Dao includes Ding Huo. To understand the Earth Emperor Dao is to understand Ding Huo. It's a pity that there is no method of the Emperor's way, otherwise the Bing Huo could be included. The way of the Emperor includes thunder, lightning, wind, clouds, fire, etc., which are extremely difficult to understand. Therefore, from ancient times to the present, there are only a few people who have understood it, and there are even fewer classics left. Although Su Junming had a bronze mirror in his hand, he still struggled with not being able to access it. Wandering in the ocean of Taoism, you can't feel the passage of time. When he woke up again, it was already the next morning. Looking at the corner, Mao Miao Miao was not there. However, it has its own golden lock for subduing demons, as well as the soul-sealing curse he cast on it. Even if you run to the end of the world, you can still catch it. Feel it. Greedy cat, it's really good. This little guy actually went to the river at the foot of the mountain to catch fish early in the morning. When he opened the door and came out, Louis I was busy working in the vegetable field in the courtyard. Seeing Su Junming, he quickly stood up. Can Taoist master sleep well tonight? Thanks to the care of the old layman, everything is fine with me. That's good, that's good. After smiling carefully. I just saw the Taoist priest's cat going out. It doesn't matter. It's used to being wild. It will come back soon after going out to play for a while. After a pause, old layman, I will go out and come back in the evening. Master Taoist, please. Su Junming nodded and turned around to go out. After walking around to the back of Yizhuang and finding an open area, Su Junming stamped his foot and the flat land suddenly sank. In an instant, a large pit 10 meters long and 2 meters deep appeared in front of us. As he gained a deeper understanding of the earthly emperor's way, he became more and more proficient at digging holes. Take out the meteorite ball and put all the corpses that no longer have souls in them. With a wave of his big sleeves, earth energy surged instantly, and the surrounding soil rushed in like running water, quickly covering the big pit. With a flick of his right hand, an emerald light flashed, and countless plants and trees sprouted from the soil. Looking at the lush grass in front of him, which was much lusher than the surrounding grass, Su Junming nodded with satisfaction. If you don't look carefully, I'm afraid no one will be able to tell that the soil here has been changed. It's time to rest in peace. If you miss home, just take a look at it from the gazebo. Sighing slightly, separation between life and death always makes people feel emotional. As soon as his ears moved, a black stream of light flew from behind. Su Junming flicked his finger backwards. Ouch! There were cries of pain. He turned around and looked at Mao Meow Meow, who was lying on the ground in a panic. You smell like fish, don't run on my shoulder. Mao Meow Meow covered her forehead with her left front paw, brought her right front paw to her nose and sniffed. Damn it, they obviously smell good. Seeing Su Junming walking away, Mao Meow Meow quickly chased after him. Hey, where are you going? I have my own place to go. Then you went to play by yourself. Su Junming glanced at it sideways and said quietly. If you want to escape, be careful of my soul-breaking technique. Mao Meow Meow stopped, and there was a trace of fear on the cat's face. The feeling of soul-shattering is still fresh in his memory. Damn it, I just want to go out and have fun. After muttering something, he followed Su Junming down the mountain to Liujiawa step by step. Su Junming walked around, walked through the streets and alleys, and came to a courtyard on the outskirts of the village. Looking at the 3 thatched houses surrounded by fences, he stood in front of the waist-high courtyard gate and shouted. Is this Lu Dalan's house? Not long after, a short, stocky middle-aged man walked out of the main room. When I saw a young Taoist priest standing in front of the door, he looked like he was not here to beg for food. He couldn't help but be surprised and asked, where is the Taoist priest here? Are you Lu Dalan? Exactly. Lu Erlang, is Lu Song your brother? The middle-aged man's expression changed. I am the only one in my family, there is no Lu Erlang. Su Junming took out the meteorite ball, and with a move of his right hand, a ray of light flew out, and in an instant it turned into a corpse wearing grey linen clothes. His appearance was similar to Lu Dalan's. Your brother, Lu Erlang, owed 300 taels of silver at the Sien Long Casino in Sanyang town. He was beaten to death by the owner and abandoned in the wilderness. He was taken in by the local charity. I am the Taoist priest of Mission Corps Exorcist, and I specially send your brother back home. Buried. Looking at his brother who had lost all voice, the middle-aged man's expression changed several times. He could no longer hold back, and 2 lines of tears flowed down his cheeks. It's okay to die. If you die, you don't have to gamble anymore. Seeing him grieving, Su Junming was also filled with emotion. A bad gambler can ruin the whole family. It's no wonder that Lu Dalan didn't recognize his biological brother before. Da Lang, who is outside? An old voice came from the main room. Lu Dalan quickly wiped his tears with his torn sleeve, turned his head and shouted inside. Mom, a mage passed by our house and asked for a bowl of water. Oh, my son, don't be lazy. I know, don't worry. After comforting his mother, Lu Dalan knelt down with a pop. Su Junming quickly dodged and was knelt down, but it was a big cause and effect. Taoist priest, I have something to ask of you. Taoist priest, please agree no matter what. You get up first and then talk. Lu Dalan nodded and stood up. Lu Erlang is indeed my brother. Just because he has been gambling all the time, my Lu family's 100 acres of fertile land and prosperous family have been ruined by him. Just now I thought that the Taoist priest was a creditor who came to collect debts. Of course he did not tell the truth. I hope the Taoist priest will forgive me. I see. Anyone who encounters such a person will be in bad luck. What do you want? I hope the Taoist priest can take my brother's body to the cemetery on the outskirts of the village, and I can bury it myself. You won't provide funeral services for him. Lu Dalan smiled bitterly. My Lu family is very poor now, so we still have money to pay for his funeral. Moreover, my mother is seriously ill and bedridden. If she hears that Erlang has passed away, she will be so sad that something unexpected happens. Therefore, we can only bury her quietly and hope that the Taoist priest will show mercy. Seeing that he was about to prostrate himself again, Su Junming said quickly. Seeing that you are extremely filial to your mother, I agreed to this matter. Thank you, Taoist priest. Su Junming waved his hand and took Lu Erlang's body inside. Let's go. Master Taoist, wait a minute. Lu Dalan hurried into the main room and came back soon. Thank you, Taoist priest, for sending my brother's body back for burial. Please accept the money. Looking at a bunch of copper coins in a small green cloth bag, Su Junming shook his head. I don't want the money. Do you have any yellow rice at home? Have. Go and serve me a bowl of yellow rice. Consider it as a reward for driving away the corpse this time. Thank you, Taoist master, for your thoughtfulness. Su Junming nodded. There are rules for exorcising corpses in mission. Regardless of whether you are rich or poor, you must collect rewards. The rich will receive more, and the poor will receive less, but they must be collected. The reason for this is to avoid cause and effect. Taoist practice is most taboo about the entanglement of cause and effect. Lu Dalan quickly ran out with a large porcelain bowl filled with yellow rice. Taoist master, are these good? If they are not enough, I will get them again. Looking at the bowl full of yellow rice, Su Junming nodded. Enough. He took out the porcelain bottle from the bag, compressed the yellow rice, and put it in. Put the large bowl back. Mom, I'm going to the ground. Go early and come back early. New. After leaving the main room, Lu Dalan picked up the shovel standing by the wall. Taoist master, let's go. Su Junming nodded. Under the leadership of Lu Dalan, they came to the ancestral grave of Liujiawa. After he dug the grave with the shovel he carried, Su Junming took out Lu Erlang's body from the meteorite ball. Seeing that he didn't even have a coffin, Su Junming used green wood talismans to make him a thin-skin coffin and let Lu Dalan bury him in it. A small grave was piled up, but no monument was erected. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 161. Chapter 159, A Dream of Wang Liang. Erlang, don't blame your brother for not giving you a funeral. It's really you who have ruined all our family's money. The money earned by my eldest brother's hard work over the years has been used to treat our mother's illness. Our family is already impoverished. What's more, there's no money left. But don't worry, from now on during Qingming Festival and New Year's Eve, my eldest brother will come to visit your grave. You can rest peacefully there. Watching Lu Dalan muttering to himself, the ghost of Lu Erlang standing on the grave could not help but change his expression, showing regret and pain. If I had known this, why would I have done it in the first place? Su Junming shook his head secretly. Taoist master, I'm fine. Lu Dalan patted the dirt on his body and stood up. Let's go. The Taoist master won't leave. I have other important matters. Lu Dalan nodded, bowed deeply to Su Junming, turned around and left with the shovel. Seeing his back disappear, Su Junming turned around and looked at Lu Erlang's ghost. I will give you 7 days to stay at home with your mother and brother. After 7 days, I will send you to reincarnation. Thank you, Taoist priest. Remember to return on time and don't have any evil thoughts, otherwise don't blame me for not sparing you. Lu Erlang remained silent and nodded quickly. Go. After bowing to him and saluting, Lu Erlang sank into the ground. He is a ghost, and if he wants to return home, he has to wait until dark. Liujiawa was the only one who wanted to deliver the body, Lu Erlang. Once this matter was done, it would be over. But Su Junming will have to stay here for a few more days until his first 7 days are over. Nothing happened. I walked around Liujiawa a few times and found nothing unusual. Wu Lide's matter has no clue at this point. Near evening, Su Junming returned to Yizhuang. Liu Si, who did not disturb the room on the left, returned to his room and sat down cross-legged. He took out a porcelain bottle from the bag, and then took out a copper bowl that was about the depth of an adult's hand and 7 inches in diameter. The copper bowl is half full of yellow rice. Different from ordinary yellow rice, they are not only rich in aura, but also sparkle with colorful brilliance. Su Junming poured the yellow rice from the porcelain vase into the copper bowl. With a flash of colorful light, the poured yellow rice slowly disappeared and the essence was sucked in. Opening his right palm, a wisp of blue and white clouds flew into the copper bowl and melted into the yellow rice. He stretched out his hand and made a false move, and a grain of 7-colored yellow rice flew into his palm. His magic power was secretly activated, and a wisp of white cloud emerged. Lu Erlang's figure appeared among them. At this time, he was in the casino, staring at the gambling table with a feverish expression, completely addicted to it. I waved again, and a few more grains of yellow rice floated up, each with a human figure in it, but their expressions were all different, ranging from joy, excitement, sadness, greed, and regret. He let go of his hand and let the yellow rice slowly fall into the copper bowl. Su Junming nodded with satisfaction. This bowl of yellow rice contains a total of 365 grains, which is the number of days in the week. He used the Dongzhen medium-grade yellow rice cultivated by the Nanzang of Mission, combined with the 7 emotions and 6 desires such as sadness, fear, to practice the fundamental magic weapon of the soul path, called Yimen Huangliang. Because there are too many of them and the training time is short, they are only the top-level mid-level magic weapons of the 6th level of Treasure Ban. However, the most common thing in the world of mortals is desire. It is not too difficult to practice this a dream of yellow beams. I saw Mao Meow Meow next to me. Would you like to go in and try? Don't want. Mao Meow Meow shook her head desperately. Before it surrendered, its soul was captured by Su Junming and thrown into Huangliang Yimen. Although a grain of yellow rice may be small, to a disembodied soul, 1 grain is a small world. Joy, anger, worry, sadness, fear, the 7 emotions and 6 desires are repeated all over again, and it is almost like dying. And over time, the soul is infected by the power of the 7 emotions and 6 desires. Unless Su Junming takes action, he will sink in it forever. Mao Meow Meow, who had tried the taste, naturally didn't want to go in again. With a faint smile, Su Junming put away the Yimeng Huangliang and began to enter meditation and realize the Tao. Demon King. After patting his chest with his left front paw, Mao Meow Meow muttered in fear and lay down again. She originally planned to go out to catch fish to satisfy her craving, but now she dare not move. The night is getting darker and everything is quiet. Su Junming suddenly opened his eyes and looked to the southeast. Mao Meow Meow also opened her eyes. Master, there are spiritual energy fluctuations in that direction. Su Junming nodded and his body disappeared instantly. Don't wait for others. Mao Meow Meow, who had recovered his mid-level Xiantian cultivation, looked at the direction Su Junming left with envy. The way of Hushan was so close to the end of the world, and the speed was too fast. Su Junming took a few steps and took a few breaths to reach the place where the incident occurred. In a clearing surrounded by trees, a short and stocky man wrapped tightly in gray linen clothes, leaving only his eyes outside, was waving a dark yellow flag that smelled of excrement, and shot out a series of dark yellow spiritual lights. Opposite him, a young man wearing a green robe, a white bone crown, a long pointed face, slender eyes, and a sinister expression was brandishing a white bone whip to resist the dark yellow spiritual light coming from him. Both sides have late-stage innate cultivation, and the magic weapons in their hands are all of the middle-grade Dongzhen, so they are equally matched and neither can do anything to the other. Su Junming watched for a while, then his heart moved. A white light, as fast as lightning, shot straight towards the man in green clothes. Not good. The man in green clothes was fighting the enemy with all his strength, but he didn't expect that there was someone else beside him. What was even more unexpected was that the weapon was so sharp and sinister. Just when his head was tilted a little, a white aura had already passed through his head. With a scream, a black-gray shadow flew out of the green-robed man's body and fled into the distance. Su Junming twisted a grain of yellow rice and flicked his fingers. The colorful yellow rice disappeared instantly. When it came back, the soul of a five-step snake was already trapped inside. Crack! The man in green clothes disappeared, and the body of a five-step snake that was 2 feet long and as thick as a bowl of sea fell down. This confrontation between the rabbit and the falcon happened almost in an instant. The man in linen clothes looked at the young Taoist priest standing on the treetop in shock and wariness. The other party can kill the five-step snake demon as well as chopping melons and vegetables, so naturally he can be killed in the same way. He stretched out his hand and made a move, and the body of the five-step snake, plus its magic bag and bone whip flew into Su Junming's palm. After taking a brief look at it, he compressed it using the space compression technique and put it into the magic bag. Turning to look at the man in my. The reason why he took action without asking why was not because the man in green clothes was a snake demon, but because the snake demon had resentment in him, and although the man in linen clothes was stinky and unbearably filthy, he had merit. It goes without saying who is good and who is evil. Seeing that he was wary, Su Junming reported himself to his family. I went to Mission Nanzong Su Junming again and met Taoist fellow Taoist. What? Are you Su Junming, the Swanyan tyrant sword? The man in linen clothes said in surprise. Why can't I get around this bad name? I am Su Junming, not some Swanyan tyrant sword. Seeing that he didn't like it, the man in sackcloth wisely didn't mention it. I have heard for a long time that my Taoist friend is so domineering and unparalleled in his true fighting skills. The two sects in the north and south of Mission competed with 1 against 4, and they were able to win in battle. Ma Wu admired him deeply, and he has been a close friend of the Taoist friend for a long time. I can see you today, it's really great, it's a blessing for 3 lifetimes. Su Junming took a step forward and jumped down from the treetop. Fellow Taoist Ma is too modest. What is the origin of the snake demon who was fighting with fellow Taoist just now? Young Taoists who don't know. I just saw that it was full of resentment and sinful, so naturally I wouldn't leave it in the world. I didn't expect fellow Taoists to have the art of looking at Qi, Ma Wu said in admiration. I just understand it a little bit. Silently pretending to be cool. The art of fortune seeing is a wonderful art of numerology. Although he is familiar with Yigua, he is still far from being proficient in it. If it weren't for the help of the bronze mirror, he wouldn't be able to see the luck in others. The name of the snake demon is Shishan, and he calls himself the 5-step true monarch. He is a spirit from a 5-step snake from the nearby goddess peak. He has a late-stage innate cultivation level and has never done any evil deeds. But recently, he suddenly started looking for blood. Hunting for souls starts with just killing those bandits who do evil things. But in the past month, it has actually started to harm the business traveler. I have repeatedly fought with it to get rid of this evil monster. However, I thought that this monster's strength has improved rapidly. I was able to beat it half a year ago, but now I can only barely beat it. If fellow Taoists had not killed this beast, I would inevitably be harmed by it in the future. After saying that, Ma Wu bowed deeply. You don't have to be polite, fellow Taoist Ma. We are all on the right path, and we should help each other. But do you know why Sheshan suddenly started cannibalizing and hunting souls? I really don't know this. Judging from his expression, it didn't look like he was faking it. Does fellow Taoist know the location of this cave in Sheshan? It's on the mountain behind Goddess Peak. As for the specific location, I don't know. Please, fellow Taoist, lead the way. It's easy to talk. Fellow Taoist Su invites, who? Ma Wu shouted loudly and turned around suddenly to look at the woods behind him. He had just had a fight, and he was at his most vigilant at this moment. A black stream of light burst out from the dense forest and headed straight for Su Junming. Fellow Taoist Su, be careful. Ma Wu shouted loudly and waved the flag in his hand, sending a stream of dark yellow light straight towards the black light. Su Junming waved his sleeves, and a ray of fire flew out, intercepting the dark yellow stream of light. After a burst of crackling, a strange smell of excrement spread out. It stinks, it stinks. The black stream of light fell on Su Junming's right shoulder, and a black cat as big as a palm appeared in Ma Wu's eyes. The black cat sat on Su Junming's shoulder, covering its mouth and nose with its two front paws, and looked at Ma Wu with disgust, as if he was 5 or 6 years old. The little girl's voice came from the black cat. Su Junming frowned and waved his sleeves again. A strong wind suddenly came, rolling up the dead branches and leaves, and countless air whizzed away. The stench in the field suddenly faded by half. Don't be nervous, Taoist fellow Ma, this cat is my spiritual beast. Ma Wu also understood at this time, and quickly waved the big flag in his hand, sucking in all the stench. Fellow Taoist Su Hai Han, it's me Meng Lang. Fellow Taoist, it's serious, he glanced at the flag in Ma Wu's hand. If I'm not mistaken, this treasure, friend Taoist, was made with the energy of 5 dung sacrifices. The so-called 5 dung gases are the poisonous gases produced by the essence of the feces of cattle, sheep, pigs, dogs, and chickens. They are one of the poisons.